I go back to First American Title, and it's the old-fashioned way. And I'm looking at, okay, these are the properties that just sold. Actually, I'll see it on this one. It won't let me blow it up. Shoot. So these are all sold in the last 6 months. 126, 220, 417, 417, 427, 313, 511, 426. So obviously, I'm taking out one that sold on 427 for 173. That one sucks. I'm not using that one at all. This one here says 173. All these other ones are like 250, 235, 253, 2 whatever that is, 2. Does that say 3 something? I can't see. 345. So obviously, I'm gonna kick out the high and the lows, because those are just, you can pick and choose your and this is what happens when people get into trouble, is they pick and choose the properties that they want to put into their ARV. I always kick out the high and the lows just as anomalies. And then everything else, I'm going to go in, I'm going to actually pull up the records. I'm going to pull up I'm going to go to Realtor.com, I'm going to go to Zillow or whatever, because if they're just recently sold, the pictures are still going to be there. And I'm looking for pictures to say like for like. This is a lot of work, but this is where you make your money. This is where a lot of guys won't do this work. They're too lazy. They're like, whatever, the flipper's going to do that. They're going to do their homework anyway. That's the fastest way to screw a relationship over. Yep.
So timeline-wise, between using the down and dirty versus doing the actual work, so like when you're talking to the guy, you can do it on the fly to say if you guys are close.
Yeah. And
then once you're close in your negotiation, you can go investigate more deeply.
Before I walk the property, I need to know what numbers I'm going at. And I'm going to teach you how to do this on a super, super awesome way. But before I go into the property, I need to at least have a ballpark of what this house could potentially be worth on the open market. If I'm not like right on the numbers, I'm okay with that. I can fudge a little bit. That's why I say like this rule here, just taking the square footage is good, because old-fashioned way, like I said, is only a difference of like 10 grand. I just want to get an idea of where I'm going to be at before I go and walk the property. When I'm getting ready to sell this property on the open market, I'm doing my old-fashioned homework. I'm getting down and dirty, because now I have to sell this contract to somebody. I need to know what they can make on it, because if I inflate or overestimate what they're going to earn, I've shot all credibility with the guy. Because think about this: who puts the risk in this business? The guy putting his money up. And so if I'm stroking him along, telling him like, hey man, you're going to make a lot of money on this deal. Hey, you're going to do this. I'm not serving him. I'm serving me. I'm just looking for a referral out of it on the assignment fee. So I definitely have to do my homework. And I have guys that use me exclusively because I do this. I know my numbers when it comes to doing this stuff. And they'll like, no, Ryan knows what he's talking about. A house that I recently just sold, the guy thought that I was way off base on my numbers. I said, no, you don't know this market. This is a pocket. This is a house that I just sold in Yuba City, right by the country club. Hasn't been a sell in over 3 years, because no one sells these properties. And he's like, everything. I'm like, no. I'm telling you, this property, because of where it's located, people will pay a premium to be in this area. There hasn't been any sales because no one sells. They want to stay there. So anyway, he took that risk, that gamble with me. What he thought was he's going to make about $395. He's going to end up making about $435 on the deal when it's done. So it was a complete $40,000 more. He's like, dude, you got any more like that? I actually got unsolicited offers on this particular property because of where the location was. I put the contract up on Facebook, and I immediately got messages from people saying, I want the house, because they knew what it was, where it was at. So we'll talk about that. What happened here? Like just jumped. Got ghosts in the machine.
So when you talked about My First AM,
yes.
That's the app you talked about?
Yep. It's an app, and it's also on the internet as well.
Is it the mortgage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're welcome. Any questions on this? I don't want to beat a dead horse here when it comes down to property value.
Are you just as confident in your numbers for repair? Or do you do that for wholesale?
That's a good question. I appreciate you asking that. So I suck when it comes to evaluating properties. I have a formula that I'll show you that's been pretty accurate. I used to go in when I was in South Carolina and Georgia, and don't fall into this trap, There are guys that are like, oh, you're a brand new investor. You need this checklist of all these things. And like, every window is worth $250. And you got to go through and like check every single window down. And every door is worth $200 and every doorknob. And I literally spent like 2 hours one time like going through a property and like checking everything off. And like, all right, well, my calculations, it's going to cost us $18,000 and 472 cents, whatever, to do this property. Never got the deal from the guy anyway. And it just was a complete waste of his time and my time. So, but that was me being insecure about my numbers. I learned that there's a whole better way to do that, and I'm going to share that with you. We're getting to that. I wish I would have known this when I first got into this business, but this was a complete game changer for me because now I can walk into a house and within 20 minutes I'm done, and I know pretty darn close how much it's going to cost to repair that property. All right, so be careful, guys, when you're doing your property research. You have to pay attention to details. Remember this house? Where did we see this house at?
On your video.
On my video. We're driving by. So this is a house. So it's 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 899 square feet. It's pre-foreclosure. It's going to auction. That's kind of crazy because it's a 3-bedroom going to auction, but here we are on Realtor.com, just got sold. 3-bedroom. So it sold for $209,000, all cash. All right? So check this out. So Zillow, obviously, it's whatever someone puts in there, it's what you're going to get. You get what you pay for. It's free. You can manipulate the data there. You can change bedrooms and all that stuff, square footage. You can do all that stuff. Realtor, not so much. If you're listing the property, then obviously you're going to tell the listing agent what the details are of that property. Doesn't mean it's accurate, though, because check this out. I trust county records above all else. So First American Title. Here's this property. 2 bedrooms.
Oh, wow.
It's a 2-bedroom property, not a 3-bedroom property. Eric and I actually walked this property. What do you want to tell him about that 3rd bedroom?
I could almost touch my head on a side of one of the bedrooms, both bedrooms. The roof was slanted like so. My head could almost reach on one side.
Like here's the ceiling, here's Eric's head. It's not a bedroom, guys. What's the limit as far as bedroom ceiling size in California?
65 or 70 inches.
6.5 feet. If it's not 6.5 feet, it is not livable space.
6.5 feet is small.
It is. That ceiling is like, you're bumping up in that thing, So it was a room add-on, and they just continued the pitch of the roof as it just continued all the way down. The closet, what was the closet?
It's little tiny.
Broom closet?
Not yet.
Piece of wood, makeshift door. That's the closet. That's their 3rd bedroom. Crazy thing about it is, unfortunately, because that house was they sold for $209,000, it was an all-cash purchase price. What happens when it's an all-cash purchase when you're doing your transactions?
You have to get an appraisal.
No appraisal. So because there was no appraisal, this never showed up. These guys go, yeah, I'll buy a 3-bedroom house.
Didn't they seriously bought it without knowing?
No inspections. Not only that, there's a lot of things wrong with this house, but that's what happens when you're a cash buyer. You're a buyer, not an investor. So pay attention, because if I'm pitching this deal.
Why wouldn't they at least do a tour?
Well, they did a tour. It looks really nice inside. It was beautiful, except for when you start looking at the details. So
No, I mean for the 3rd bedroom, you would identify that as not necessarily a bedroom.
I don't know who bought it. I just know it recently sold.
So that's the flipped price. The flipped is 209.
209.
So it actually. Oh, a cash buyer.
Cash
came in and
buyer.
Bought the remodel.
Yep, for 209. So here's the sad part about it, is they did the bare minimum in the repairs. So the bathroom, new vanity, very nice. New tile floor. The shower, exact same shower and tub with dirty grout. They left the dirty grout. Exactly. I don't know why, but anyway. But here's the thing, guys. You're pitching this property. You're like, yeah, resale value is this. It's a 3-bedroom house. If they go and they look on county records and it's a 2-bedroom, who looks like an idiot? You do. Be careful when pitching these wholesale deals. Just know your numbers. It's super easy to do. That's why I always rely on county records. First American Title will tell you every single time. If it's on the county, First American has it.
So you can trust that.
I trust that. I definitely trust it, yeah.
Something to check when you're doing your comps too, on a sale like that.
Exactly right.
Comps and see what the story is.
Yep.
And was there a fee for that app?
No, the app is free. They give it to you as a resource and tool in hopes that you're going to use business with them, close with them.
I use another title company for a lot of stuff.
That's fine. Which one is it?
Stewart?
Does Stewart have an app?
I don't think so.
Ask them if they have tools. They might. I don't know.
I think they're in the same family as the Chicago group.
They might be. Okay.
They're owned by
Subsidiary.
there's three
Or-
majors, and then all these little sub things. so
Yeah.
you know, I think those two are under one category.
Ask your title rep there, or the marketing rep, what if they have any investor tools,
Okay.
and they'll hook you up. If not, they're free. I mean, you don't have to send business to First American. I've never done a deal with First American. You hear that? I've never done a deal with First American.
Well, they're cool, or
I've tried to. It fell apart. And the guy that I send the majority of my business to only does Placer Title. So I'm going to go where my buyer's going to go.